record
Prabhaji, the question is, do I have to present, so when he is sharing his screen, he won't be seeing his face. Do you want me to set up some other device to?
Your voice is coming very low volume. Dhiman Bhai, is the student Rivan has co-host, right? You have, right? Okay, now what was your question, dear?
My question is, when he's sharing the screen, then he won't be seeing his face. Nobody can see his face.
I know today Dhiman Bhai is going to try to see if his slides are on half page and he's shown on the half page. Let us hope that works. Okay, Dhiman Bhai, try.
Just use the other device to share the screen.
No, doesn't matter. Your face will still be shown, even if you're on the same laptop, his face will still come. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Camera is still on him, okay, even though he's sharing. So that's not an issue.
You want to check his voice?
Yeah, go ahead. Say something, beta. Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.
Excellent. Speak the same way, loud and clear, okay?
Okay.
There's this little humming sound. Is that from you? Do you have two devices on, Rivan and mom?
No.
No, it's just something else. It's just, we'll stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, beta.
Now.
All right. We are just half a minute away and we'll start exactly 8:30.
Okay? Initially, I'll play the video, then I'll focus
on. आप अभी play कर दीजिए video. Video अभी play
it will be exactly like 6.
Video is only 2 minutes, right, Dhiman Bhai?
It's 60 seconds only.
Okay, no problem.
Questions, please call me on my cell at 973-418.
Dhiman Bhai, please mute everyone.
6:01 p.m. set by 973-846-5050. Recent events throughout our state. Message deleted. New message.
Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam. Jai Jinendra, everybody. Today is day 2 of our 18 days of Paryushan. Our topic today is Who Am I? And our student presenter is Rivan. I'm going to introduce him and then he will be able to share his presentation. So Rivan Paryushan, he's 11 years old. He goes to elementary school from Allen. Allen is probably a suburb of Dallas. And he's in 6th grade. He is associated with Jain Center of North Texas. Now, he has interest in Jainism related to Bhav, Jain rituals, Dan, Tap, and Pathshala. So this little kid, oh my God, he knows so much and he does so much too. I think he did Ekasana the first day of Paryushan, and he does a lot of things. Anyway, his mentor at home are both mom and dad. Very good. When both parents are involved, the child definitely learns a lot. His hobbies. He has great interest in steam engineering. Wow, interesting field. Art and writing poems. He is a very good guitarist. Oh my God, Rivan, you have nothing left. You're into art and science both. Wonderful. He likes to explore and learn the Jain religion in general, reading a lot of stories, He is very kind and always ready to help others. Don't we all want to be like that? He has been following Jain rituals like Navkarsi from age 5 years every day. That is very, very commendable. I hope we all adults learn from him. His long-term plans, he wants to accumulate all kinds of knowledge so he can move forward in life with his set goals. Very good, Revan. Looking forward to your presentation. And just a word of caution, I know we have 37 participants already. All of you and whoever you tell, please make sure everybody comes before 8:30 so we don't miss the student presentations. They are very important, not only to us, but also to the students themselves. We want to encourage these little children. They work so hard, and this is going to be our new generation of speakers for Paryushan. So we don't want to miss their presentations, okay? And a heads up to all the kids who are going to be here tomorrow and day after. We are going to have kids from Australia presenting. So you will make some good friends from Australia. So, you know, the kids love to do this so much that even all the way from Australia, even though it's like 10:30 in the morning, so they could not do it on weekdays because they have to go to school, but they requested if they could do it the 2 weekend days. So how nice, right? So 2 days we will have kids from Australia presenting. All right, over to you, Rivan.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm really blessed to have this opportunity to be reviewing about this topic, which is about who am I and the soul. So who am I? Am I a Ravan? No, I'm a soul and I'm an Atma and I'm invisible. Why is it important to have self-realization? And how do you know the difference between soul and body? How do you believe or understand that you are a soul? My body is non-living and my Atma is a living substance. My body has a label and Atma has no label. When you die, your body stays here, where your Atma leaves in fraction of seconds from the body and seeping into the destined next birth. Our Tirthankaras have preached this philosophy and its answers to their Deshana. Our Acharyas have written these answers in their agams as well. Just because the soul is covered with karmas means that we don't have the full extent of the value that the Paramatma, Supreme Soul, attains when the soul is liberated. Many of us will have many questions. Why are we in Manushya Gati? And where are we going to land when we die? And what is my purpose in life? Why is it important to be liberated and purify my Atma? The qualities of our soul will help us on the spiritual path to moksha, as well as getting rid of our karmas and the cycle of birth and death. Let's dive in a little deeper. Now we know more about who we are and what the soul is. Let's learn more about the purpose of the Manushya Gati. And how does this relate to our soul? Out of the 4 Gatis in the Satya, the Narak, Tiryansh, Dev, and Manushya Gatis, the Manushya human Gati is by far the rarest and hardest to get. Out of the infinite Jivs in the universe, barely 1% are human. And even harder, less than 0.01% of Jivs have zero spiritual connection. Part of the fourfold sunk. Kindness and immense accumulation of punya karma are some ways to get a human bug. If you do get human bug, you're immensely lucky relative to other Jivs. Not just that it is rare and hard to get, the Manushya bug is the only Gati where you can attain.
Children will start coming lecture. English the whole service. Ashmi Samamito.
Yeah, I'll turn it on.
Ashmi.
Ready already?
Yeah, 8:40.
Okay. You can't attain moksha from any other Gati. This is how the soul is connected to this Gati. Our Atma is blocked by our karma, and getting this human birth is the only way to repent and reap our karma, to become supreme and pure. Paramatma Shuddha. This is why it will be very important where we will land when we die and what we are destined for in the next birth. So this is how rare the human birth is and relative to the total living beings on earth. So we have started our journey from where have I come to who am I, to where do I wish to go. And it's now time to set our goals from Sansari soul to the supreme soul. To get this in perspective of Atma and Paramatma, let's think of it this way. Imagine that there are two types of glasses, the muddy water in one cup and clean water in another cup. In this example, we are showing the relationship between Atma and Paramatma. The Atma is the muddy water because just like how mud covers the crystal cleanliness of the water, the Karmas, which is the mud, is covering our soul, and we can't experience the true happiness and bliss that the Paramatma takes. The muddy cup is the Sansari Atma, which is us, and the clear water is the Siddha Atma, which is the Siddhas resting on Siddhashila. The purification process and karmas play a big role in what gati we might be destined to go when we die. Let me shed light on the nature and qualities of the Sansari and Supreme Soul. Even though they have the same nature, they have different qualities. Sansari souls have karmas binded, therefore leading into the chain of birth and death. On the other hand, Supreme Souls are blissful, perfect, omniscient, and have no karmas binded. They broke the chain of birth and death. So they are liberated souls residing on Siddhashila by shredding their karmas. Even the body itself is karma until it's disconnected and it returns to its pure state. Every single bhav, the soul has the same pure qualities of any liberated soul. Perfect knowledge, perfect conduct, perfect faith, and perfect power. Just like how we can filter the muddy water and eventually get clean water in the process, we can filter our karma by repenting and reaping. Once we start soul and body are different entities, we can get Samyak Darshan. We know that to purify our soul and become Shuddha, we can enter the cycle of birth and death, so we can attain never-ending bliss. Since we know more about the soul, we can figure out how to stop all these karmas and walk on the path to Kevagna. This is a diagram showing that we should stop going into the cycle of birth and death and start becoming pure like Siddhas on Siddhashila. The power of Jainism's three jewels. Lastly, we are learning how to once and for all get rid of our karmas and walk purely on the path to moksha, liberating our soul in the process. Every human being has the power to be like the Kevalis, be liberated and attain moksha. Once we have the right rational faith in our knowledge about the soul, then it becomes part of our conduct. Remember, right faith leads to right knowledge, and right knowledge leads to right conduct. And being a Jain 24/7 is a journey towards a happy and peaceful life. Think, speak, and act to keep Atma in the center, not you, Atma. For any errors and omissions, Man Machakayakari Steve Michami Dikram. Jai Janendra.
Excellent job. How solid this kid's fundamentals are. He understands Atma to Paramatma so thoroughly. Team, I would like to request you to please mute the people as soon as they come on. Can we please have a setting so that way people are muted as they join?
You have to unmute yourself, Prabhaji.
Okay. All right. I think there's a setting we can mute people as we come. So if we can set it
I already did it just because if I did in between, then it will mute the Rivan as well. That's why.
All right. No problem. Thank you. Okay, Rivan. Very good job. Really very impressed by your knowledge. You're only 11 years old and you know so much and you have a long ways to go. Hopefully you'll be one of our Jaina speakers as you get older, huh? Very nice. Very okay. It's time for our speaker now. I'm going to introduce today our topic. Rivan has already done. Who am I? Today, the speaker is Dr. Shantilal Mohnot. He is a retired chemical scientist. He's been involved in Jain Swadhyay and Education Committee since mid-80s. He was also involved in editing of Jaina Pathshala books, which are still used in all our Pathshalas from all the temples. He has always been inclined towards spirituality and spent time with monks in India from a very young age. His current style of Swadhyaya involves understanding of own soul and Jain fundamentals with thoroughness and depth, mostly through the teachings in the 2000-year-old tradition of Acharya Kundakund. He was the coach for Pittsburgh Youth JAB, Jain Academic Bowl team for Jaina conventions from 1995 to 2011. He has conducted Swadhyaya in local and outside Jain centers since about 35 years. Over to you. Thank you.
Unmute. Jai Jinendra, everybody. And I must concur with every other listener how good a job Rivan has done. And it's amazing how well-versed he is with this reality of soul at this tender age. Okay. Are you able to see my slides? I presume yes.
Yes, we can.
yes, we
Everybody's
can.
muted.
Okay, good. So this first, let me just thank Jaina and a lot of the listeners who have come. I hope everybody, whether they have already studied a lot or not have studied so much about their soul, get something out of it. And if everything is already known to them, then it will be a good revision. So it would still help their upyog to go towards their soul. So I hope everybody is benefiting from their time they spent with me this evening. So let me start with my prayer. Moksha margasya netaram bhetaram karma bhubratam nataram vishwatattvanam vande tadaguna labde vande tadaguna labde. Those who do not understand our language of Sanskrit and Hindi, I've tried to translate many of the key words to English. So this Mangalacharan that I just said means that we are bowing down to this Tirthankar Bhagwan, who is a leader in the path of liberation. And so being the leader, meaning he has done it before us and he can teach us because he has experienced all there is to know and how to be happy, such an unconditional and eternal, never to be diminished, never to be vanishing, anant kal tak, that happiness that we bow to him so that I can also acquire those attributes. The attributes actually exist in the soul, as we will learn, but they are not manifest. So when we use this word acquire, many times we mean only to manifest that nature, innate nature that is in each and every soul, as we will learn more. So now I'm showing, do you see my bar up on top, Prabha? That is disturbing the picture. I
No,
want
it's
to make
fine.
sure. Are you able to see the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, good. So here, Rivan has already done a great job of showing a lot of the concepts, but I have my own style of presentation. So here is a mundane soul going in the transmigration around the universe from one body form to the next. So we say, okay, he is bound, he's shackled, he's tied to this world. And for those who are willing to get out of this shackle, they go to somebody who has experienced, and not just experienced a little bit, but experienced to the fullest extent, our Tirthankar Bhagwan, who have um, uh, manifest all those, the supreme qualities that we heard just now, and we will talk more about it. So this process, those who are desirous of are the ones who would be interested in this talk today. This festival that we have right now, that we yesterday you heard from Dr. Priya Jain, and this is in the spirit of intense sadhana, the spirit of Paryushan for intense sadhana during this Paryushan. That sadhana word, those who are not familiar, consists of many meanings imbibed in this. There is no equivalent English word. So during this sadhana, we learn more about ourselves, we realize our soul, we practice the teachings, we accomplish more, we meditate on our soul. All that is encompassed in this sadhana. And this Paryushan means coming to and or dwelling in our nature of soul, own soul, nature. That nature is similar to that of God, that this God, omniscient teacher, has taught us. And so what happens is that this title, who am I, who am I, is something very simple. And that's what, if we ask somebody on the street, who are you? He's going to say, what are you talking? I know who I am. And he will give all his description if you ask him further. And he knows what makes him happy, what he likes, dislikes, who is his family, all that he will describe. But our omniscient teacher has realized something that's not very well manifest, expressed. We cannot easily know who we really are. And that's what we are going to discuss a little more from continuing on from where Rivan left. So oops. Oh. Okay, so now anything one wants to know, one has to understand some basic concepts that when you know something, it has three main aspects that describe that particular entity, whether we call it a substance. The first aspect we call dravya, which means that um, uh, that substance. Okay, we call it dravya, and this dravya substance is always the same, identical, always, never changing. That aspect of that is called dravya or dhruv part, which means the same. Now, since there are three parts, a part that is same is the dravya we are meaning here. The other component of this substance is its attributes. Everything, whether visible or invisible, if it's a substance that exists, it has attributes. But those attributes could be changing. So that change part comes in the third component. It's called paryay, or the state, or the avastha, mode, condition, etc. So this one is constantly changing. So if I want to understand who I am, I need to know all three separately. If I just don't know them completely, then I will have a muddied picture of myself. And that is the purpose of this talk, to clarify. In order to explain this further, I'm using these two examples, one of a material substance, gold, let us say, and the other will be soul. So in the material substance, we know what gold is like. Our Indian ladies wear a lot of gold ornaments, but that gold could be coming from a mine where it looks like dirt. So that dirt has gold component in it, some scientist discovered. Then before that, that dirt had no value. As soon as somebody discovered that it has gold, which is valuable, then they found the process how to remove the non-gold components from that dirt. And then we have this pure gold. And even then, it can have different forms. Even this mud, which looks ugly, it's gold, it's containing gold. Similar to that, so there is gold component that is always the same, the substance. Its attributes means if this is a material thing, it has color, shineness, etc. Weight, density. There are, its design, whatever, shape. Now, soul has these three same components. Every substance has these three components. So a soul can be just like this gold atom was in different forms. This soul can be transmigrating into this universe with this sometimes heaven, sometimes human, sometimes hell, and sometimes in subhuman form, such as animal, plant, and so on. Now, once this soul heard that this happiness is really a part of one's innate nature in its substance from an omniscient or the followers of, these are the omniscient Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. And from their teachings, other human beings started on that path of moksha in such an intense way. We call them monks. It could be a regular monk, or it could be a teaching monk, or a head of the monk society. All these monks have reached such a high level of self-awareness, self-cleansing, that they are soon going to be reaching the supreme state, depending on their following. And as Rivan mentioned, some karmas that they will disassociate from. So these five, all these five, as we call in our mantra, are really the paryay, the state of this soul. The same soul could be going through all the states. And once you reach the ultimate moksha state, there is no reason to come back. So we understand that. Now we need to understand, as a human being, for us, we have a material body. And if somebody introduces me, they would introduce me by my paryay, my state. What do they see in me? What do they know about me or my family? This human aspect, okay? So this human body at the same space has a soul, pure soul substance. That first part that I said, the dhruva, that one that doesn't change. And then there is also karmic matter. We call it karma body or pudgal. So all three in the transmigrating soul, they are three different things, but they all occupy the same space. And they're occupying the same space, and therefore you only see a human body, corporeal body, but the other two substances that are not visible to us, we have to learn from our gurus, teachers. Then we realize. Then once we realize, then we move on to the path of moksha. The staying in the same physical space, occupying the same space, is called ek kshetra avgaha. That connection between, what is the connection between my body, my karmas, and my soul? They all live in the same space, but they are different. And that distinction we do is very critical to our moksha marg, or the path of liberation. Now, when we learn something in our word dictionary and our understanding cognitive process, there are some things that are real and some things that we say for the name's sake, that we call in our communication interaction with others. So this knowing process we call gyan, the knowledge process. It has some components that are easily manifest, easily understood. We understand through our sense organs, very gross things. Okay. Then there are some that we have to think further, go deeper to understand. We call it sukshma. It's still expressed, manifest, but we have to do a little bit work to understand those. Okay, that we call sukshma. Then there is a part that is not even noticeable, that is unexpressed. That's called avyakt. It's extremely fine. So this fineness of those objects that you're trying to learn, that is the hardest part, and that could be that is the real thing that exists forever, but it's not there. But the ones that we know through our sense organs or otherwise thinking process is not enough to know the soul. That is the purpose of showing this. What I'm showing here is in India, we call this ivory tusk as elephant's teeth. We know that they are not the real teeth. Teeth are inside. Same way, our soul is not expressed. It's extremely fine. Fine meaning not in material size, but in terms of hard to understand. And once we understand, once we experience, then it becomes our gay, as we learned yesterday, the objects, or subjects, whatever the substances that we learn. So now, how do we know all this is authentic? Whatever I'm learning, how do I know it's authentic? It comes from the omniscience, through the realized monks, through the realized scholars. And only the teachings that come from those realized souls are the real, authentic. Okay? So that is the critical part, component of what I'm presenting today. Now, let us say who I am. That is our topic. So when I say who I am, one would say I am this human body. But because I say I am the human body, so that everything that goes in relation to that human body, its wealth, its family, its home, all the belongings, all the friends, and so on, they are its circumstances. These circumstances are temporary, anitya. They are coming and going. They're not going to remain forever or remain the same all the time. That means they are not really souls. If they were souls, they would remain with the soul all the time. That it doesn't belong to the soul. However, in our practical world, we call them, they are mind. In English, we call it quasi-karma. In our language, we call it no karma. Now, this soul is actually in transmigration. So it will go to the different births depending on its karma package. Karmas are also matter, but we call that material karma, the dravya karma. Remember, I mentioned how this soul, material karma, and human body, they're all in the one and the same space. Ek Kshatrauga. Now, so these material karmas, when they leave this connection, association with the soul, then they give the fruits, the results. We call those the sanyog or no karma. And along with that, all our psychic karmas, how we feel, emotions, passions, how we get attached to other things, we get angry, we have greed, all those are psychic karmas. Those are also not really a part of permanent soul existence. They will come and go. Remember, I mentioned about Paryushan. So these are external to the soul I'm showing because these are going to be there associated with the soul only when the soul is deluded and or having attachment towards something other than itself. When a soul is by itself pure, like we talked about Supreme Soul, then none of those three will be around. So pure soul, we call Shuddha Atma Dravya. It has infinite qualities, characteristics, and the most important one is knowledge. That is how you distinguish a soul from non-soul matter. Karmas don't have gnan, knowledge. And this, our attachment, our paryay of these more ragdvesh don't have knowledge. Knowledge is only in this substance called soul. Now, this substance called soul is even in a plant, but plant doesn't have as much knowledge as a human. That is true, but that is not its innate nature. Ultimately, this innate nature will be possible to manifest in liberated pure soul. Until it reaches that purity, it will be manifesting at different levels. For example, a plant can only sense what it touches. For example, if a plant is dry in the summer, and as soon as you give water, its roots touch the water and it knows and it changes its form. That is its mode. And like that, all souls have knowledge to little degree or a lot of degree. That is the manifest, Matignan, Shrutagnan, both of them to different degrees. We talked about yesterday also. But the Gnan is the characteristic that discerns a soul from non-soul. And all souls always have this attribute of conviction. It believes in something, whether it is deluded or not deluded, that is dependent upon soul's pursuit. It knows something, whether it knows just a little or like an omniscient, they know everything in the universe of past, present, and future. That varies. That is the mode. That is the paryay. And the same thing about the conduct. How it dwells, where does it live? How does it, where is it? It's linta, sthirta. Where does it dwell? Okay. So these three, remember, are the critical components. When these become not deluded, when the soul is not deluded, then they are starting on the pure path of sadhana. And then when it's completely purified, then they become the pure liberated soul. So this soul substance that I showed separate from karmas, separate from no karmas, separate from this bhav karmas or psychic karmas, is the pure permanent substance we call dravya, that's always there, same. And it also, in addition to Gnan, the most important other characteristic that we are interested in is our happiness, the bliss. Now, the happiness we experience as a human or animals or whatever other forms of gatis, destinies, is not what we are talking about here. What we experience is different from what a soul experiences its own characteristics. So we use the same word happiness, but this bliss is psychic. It's a part of the soul. So only those realized souls really know what happiness is. We have to understand what we call happiness is really less pain than previously from another state. It's a comparative. So otherwise, all souls are not have not experienced this sukh unless they've realized their soul. So we must understand. But this Gnan and Sukh, Gnan and Anand are the most key characteristics by which we go to understand this soul. However, there are many, many, many infinite such characteristics. We learn 100 of them in our Pathshala. Now, after talking about this Dravya Karma, no karma, bhav karma. Now we must focus on understanding who we really are. And this is the focus. This is who I am. Why? Because it's always pure. It's permanent. It never changes its substance. And it's complete. It doesn't need anybody else for happiness. We don't need money to be happy if we abide in our soul. We don't need to worry about good karmas or bad karmas if we are in the soul. Karmas are not a great thing to have. It is something we want to get rid of to be liberated. These karmas will keep us in this universe, in this world where we have to transmigrate from one form to the other. So this is something we have to understand. So now what happens is that I want to share that this each of our soul, even though this substance is same, but our state changes, our paryay, our mode, our condition, avastha changes. So if we are deluded in our understanding of who we are, we think, oh, I am this man, I have this wealth, I have this family, I am the best, I am educated so much, I am this, that. That is delusion. My happiness comes when I have money. That's delusion. If I'm deluded, I will have likes and dislikes of all around, and my behavior will not be desirable. I will get upset at times. I will be happy at times, and will be, because of delusion, not ever able to manifest my natural, pure soul attributes and become happy. So that person, that soul is called Bahiratma because it's looking outside itself for, for its happiness and associating itself with something that it is not. That is called Bahiratma. Antaratma, now their soul through this learning has understood through the reasoning, through the teachings of the Guru, and experiencing itself has, oops, sorry. Pardon me, Prabha.
Just share again. It's okay.
I'm on the share.
No, just click on the green share.
One second. What is happening? Why it's not coming? My Zoom. Are you able to see my screen?
No, it's I don't know. Try to do stop share and share again. We are seeing your screen. That's what it says.
Okay, one second. I'm not seeing my.
Can you see stop share on?
Are you able to see now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I was talking about 3 modes for the soul state: the Bairatma, the deluded one; Antaratma, now it has realized its soul, it has experienced its soul, and now still it has some karmas that are going to gradually vanish. It takes time to realize full potential and to become Paramatma, even though it doesn't say, it doesn't associate with anything external as its own. Then it is called Antaratma. That is, it's inward looking. It's associating with its pure soul as self. So that is called Antaratma. And Paramatma is the super soul, supreme soul in Arihant and Siddha. Really, let us call it Siddha. The Siddhas that are shown with just the shape of the body, human body, because the last form of the human size, just a slightly bit less than that. In that mode, it stays forever, ever, for infinitely long, ever time in the future. And that is called Siddha, Siddha Shila. Okay. So how I'm not able to go? Okay. So now this awareness we talked about of the soul, and that is critical to the moksha marg, to the path of liberation. If we don't have that, we do all the activities of our body, mind, and speech. We follow the rituals, religious. All religions have this drawback, Jainism or other religions, that people tend to just follow rituals. And If you follow the rituals and you don't have your self-realization, that is like, it's not going to really help them in the path of liberation. Because some teachers have explained, it's like having a large number of zeros, and there is no one behind it. So it's not really going to give them value. It's, even though it can have punya, and it can give you some material, but it won't give you anything of its soul. We want to liberate our soul. All the things that we need for our happiness and the infinite knowledge is all in our soul. So that won't be manifest unless we have realized our soul. That is the bottom line. We may take a lot of vows and do the physical vows, and we don't eat this, we don't eat that. We can do upwas. That is all good. At least you learn some good things. But that is still not going to go toward the soul liberation until that goes together with self-realization. So all this is very critical and essential, but it has to go with self-realization. That is adhyatma. Now, this self-realization, the samyak darshan, the belief component of our soul, we understand who we are, and we understand what our conviction is based on our true knowledge of my soul, myself, understanding and experiencing. Then that Shraddha is the key foundation to having that right perception, right conviction that takes us on the path of liberation. So if we don't have that real identity known to us, and we are living in this world doing everything else as any other embodied soul, with all our possessions and emotions, it's okay. But once we have realized our soul, we may still have to live through until we are liberated. So that is like acting, drama. We don't associate with the karma, dravya karma. We don't associate as mine. There's no karma. And we do not feel that this attachment and aversion that is manifest in my soul right now is mine. I am the pure soul. If that is the conviction we have, then all this life we live is like an acting. An actor always knows what their real identity is, versus while they're acting, they have to do something different. So, but in the perfected Supreme Soul, there is no drama. There is no dravya karma. There is no bhav karma. There is no karma. And so that is the real soul and complete soul and nothing but the soul. So now let's go back and try to understand again that this soul manifest in these four gatis, destinies, are same. The soul substance is the same as that of the Siddha. And that is very well stated in one of this line, Sarva Jiva Chaya Siddha Sam, Je Samjhe Te Thai. Only these characteristics of pure soul of the Siddha Bhagwan whom we are worshipping, or a plant life, or a human life, or animal life, they're all identical. There is no difference in their substance nature. There is no difference, but one has to understand, have conviction, and follow. Then through that human life, one can realize this full potential, the liberation. But now we want to understand that when a soul goes from this human life, because it is deluded, it used all this human precious life in experiencing sensual objects and calling oneself happy. And then next life he might be, if he did good deeds to others, he might go to heaven. If he did bad deeds, he can go to hell. Or he might be an animal, or go to plant life. All these four transmigrate. And the least amount of time is given to human life. And most amount of time is given to the one-sensed beings like plant life. However, that's only because of its karma package. That I explained, karma package is not me or mine. It is associated with me. So nothing is diminished from that soul substance. Even if it went through all these conditions, it went through a lot of misery experience, but nothing diminished from the soul. Even if there is a plant, it can become a human later and can reach liberation later. So, but we must understand that nothing to worry about. If we in the past we went to hell, nothing diminished. Or even if we go to heaven and have lot of storehouse, warehouse of our good punya karmas, but they will all finish up. They will, heavenly beings also have to come down, either as human or animal or plant life after their wealth is finished or punya karma, meritorious karmas are finished. So don't give importance to these karmas. Give importance to one's own self, soul, the pure soul substance. So what learning is what is mine never vanishes, and what has vanished was never mine to begin with. And that is who really I am. That soul substance realization begins this journey of spirituality. And knowing with experience, conviction, and how did I learn all this? Through the teachers who experienced their soul. How did they learn? They learned from their gurus, but it all emanated from a supreme soul in the last human form before they become Siddha. That is the ultimate key source. But if I'm a human learning all this about myself, I have to reason out myself, use my logic and my information, and then finally make a decision that who I am. That is the first and the most important and the foundation of this spiritual journey. That experience is called the conviction. So now what happens is that we still have to interact with all other souls. I have a wife and mother-in-law, family, all those, and other, my friends, non-friends, everybody. So this universe is full of souls like mine. There are infinite times infinite souls, except that I have to differentiate one from the other. Me, I am the key soul. I am the only soul out of all these infinite souls that can give me happiness and knowledge. My guru explained to me, he cannot give me the knowledge. I have to get it myself. They give you the information, but I have to churn it. I have to process it. I have to believe in it. That's all mine. So my awareness that I am this soul and then act accordingly is the critical thing for my perfection. And that first component of it is Gnan, the knowledge of my soul, conviction, and then with that must come that nothing external to my soul is mine. We call it Vairagya, the detachment. These two components, if are not there, we cannot go on the path of liberation. We cannot perfect our soul. I cannot perfect my own soul. So we have to remember that is my part. However, I have to interact with all other souls in the meantime. We call the other soul Jivatma. Now, how do I deal with them in my day-to-day life, practical work? So I will show you in a separate slide, but we have these 4 kinds of bhavanas. And then we have perfected souls. The perfected souls are the Arihant and Siddha. They are the Paramatma. They are the knowers. They are the blissful, bliss not from things, bliss from their own soul. They don't create. They don't intervene with other souls. They don't reward any soul. They don't punish any soul. They are cleanly observers, knowers of the whole universe, past, present, and future, in one moment of every soul, every atom in this universe. Such is our own nature. We realize, we know, we experience, and then we follow the path towards this. So we naturally have devotion for such perfected souls, as well as those who are emulating that path, and our gurus, the sadhus, monks, the acharyas, the upadhyay. We have devotion towards them, but I'm talking about here devotion towards these perfected Aryans and Siddha. Why they are important to us, why I have devotion, bhakti towards them, because they are my ideal. I am following the path they experienced, they taught, that came through other gurus to me. They are my ideal. And not only that, if I see the image of an Arihant or Siddha, it really is showing me as a mirror shows reflection of what's in front of it. If I go in front and have devotion towards this Arihant and Siddha, they are just a mirror showing me who I am. They are not there to do anything for me, or I'm asking anything for them to do for me, even though in our practical world we speak that language, but in our belief, in reality, in understanding of the true nature of the universe, we don't ask for anything. We are not beggars. They have taught us we are ourselves equal to their soul, and we have to do it ourselves. So I explained how do we behave with other souls. That comes from Acharya Amit Gati, or it comes from Tattva Sutra. There are 4 characteristics you have to remember, these 4 bhavnas. Maitri bhavna, friendship with all. So if there is a plant life or animal life, then if it hurts, there is more violence or himsa in killing an animal, then I will avoid eating meat naturally. Even plant life, I will not waste plant life or throw too much, eat little and buy a lot and throw it in garbage. I will be very conscious ecologically and in my day-to-day life towards friendship towards all living beings. Plant is a living being. So vegetarianism is obvious. And you might know Bernard Shaw, when he got his Nobel Prize and he was called for banquet, he was offered to eat meat. And on his plate, there was no meat. So his friends, the people were asking, how come, sir, you're not eating? Then he said, these other beings you killed and cut their bodies and tried to put it on my plate, they are my friends. Do you eat your friends? Such is the spirit of Jainism. Then with other souls, we appreciate the virtues that they have manifest. And those that are poor are needing compassion. They are in misery. They are in need, whether it's material need, health need, whatever. We are very compassionate towards them. And if somebody says bad things to me, I need to be indifferent, ignore. We don't want to dwell on the faults of others and show our own good virtues that have manifest so far. So these are the ways in which to live with other beings while we are on this sadhana path till we reach our perfection. So with that, I'm going to finish my presentation. Jai Jinendra, I thank you all again for this opportunity. May you all realize yourself and reach the potential to perfect your soul. And thank you again. Jai Jinendra. Over to you, Prabhaji.
Yes. Jai Jinendra, you can stop sharing your presentation. Okay. All right. So now it's time for question answers. Hopefully you have all understood most of what was taught. I see a lot of side notes here, people discussing amongst themselves. So I hope everybody will be able to answer some of these questions that we're going to ask. So let me start with the first question. In Namaskar Mahamantra, are Panchparmeshti Dravya, meaning substances, or Paryay, meaning their condition or mode? So we have Arihant, Siddh, Upadhyay, Acharya, Sadhu. So are they Dravya or Paryay?
They're all Paryay.
Very good. They're all Paryay. So Dravya is their pure soul. Even Siddh is a Paryay. Because Dravya does not have any, we are always going to be in some Paryay. So that soul is in Siddha Paryay. Okay. So very good. Second question. What are the innate natural characteristics of soul, that is Swabhav, as it relates to what is mine. To answer, think what will always be mine versus what will not.
Paramparimanik bhav.
Okay, but that's might be a little too complicated for all of the audience. So
Jnana.
let's
Knowledge.
All its
Knowledge.
attributes.
yes,
Sir,
darshan, gyan, charitra, those are soul
knowledge,
gunas. Very good. That will
Yeah.
always stay with me. What
Chetna.
will not stay with me?
Body will not stay.
Sanyog.
Body will not
Circumstance.
stay. Body will not stay, but Atma will stay permanently.
Very good. And everything that is part of Atma, which is all its gunas, will always stay with me no matter where I am.
No matter its qualities and nature.
Yes. So, but then in practical and temporary world of relationships with others, we still have to say my family, like that. But for spiritual upliftment, we must believe that these are really not mine. So now the third question. What is most important attribute, that is lakshan, of soul by which we can distinguish soul from all non-soul substances?
Gyan, knowledge.
Very good.
None, knowledge, none.
Okay.
Samyak Gnan, Samyak Gnan.
Soul is eternal.
Mhm.
Consciousness, Chetana.
That's correct. All of those are correct. So Gyan, Upayog, Chetana, consciousness, these are all correct answers. Very good. Okay, next question. Why is anger not a natural part of soul or soul's innate nature?
Prabhaji, I did not cover this, but it should come as a corollary from what I
They will
covered.
understand. Yeah, that's fine. Otherwise, we can answer. Why is soul, why is krodh, anger, not innate part of my soul?
Krodh is
Because anger is part of the kashayas, which is not a natural part of the soul.
Okay.
In its pure state, it's divine and bliss, and it does not have any misery.
Very good. Very good.
In
All right.
Hindi, I can say, पर के लक्ष्य से उत्पन्न हुआ विकारी भाव क्रोध है और यहाँ पे पर मतलब हम 100 पे लक्ष्य नहीं कर रहे हैं, आत्मा पे लक्ष्य नहीं कर रहे हैं, तब जो विभाविक परिणमन होता है आत्मा का, उसके कारण जो कषाय होती है उसे क्रोध कहते हैं। तो जब हम संयोगों को देखते हैं, शरीर को देखते हैं, उसके कारण हमारे आत्मा में ये विकार उत्पन्न होते हैं। क्रोध is one of them.
Okay, very good. So basically,
Growth
as
is temporary.
it comes and goes, right? So it's temporary. So it's not part
the
of us.
true nature of soul.
Now, anger manifests only when soul believe in mistaken identity. So because we are not identifying ourselves correctly with ourselves, that's what creates the anger. Okay, so next question. Name any 3 important characteristics of all souls.
Samyak
Knowledge
darshan,
is one.
Samyak
Gyan,
darshan,
darshan,
Samyak Gnan, and Samyak charitra.
Revan, actually, no. Samyak darshan is a paryay, and we are talking about the characteristics of soul, right? So, Gyan, darshan, those will be, okay? Samyak is just a paryay of it. It can be samyak, it can be mithya, but Gyan will always stay. All right? So the correct answer is Gyan. And of course, the other circle. Yeah. So,
Yeah, Chetna are the innate qualities.
right.
Gyan, Shraddha, Charitra.
So Gyan, Darshan, Charitra is the correct answer, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Knowing,
But
believing.
darshan must mean Shraddha.
Shraddha.
Not,
Yeah, here
yeah.
Darshan is Shraddha.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
No, it doesn't have to be Samyak. Just the Shraddha.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something.
Right. And of course, sukh and virya, right? Happiness and vigor. Those are also important characteristics. Okay, all souls are identical as dravya or substance, and therefore, okay, what does it mean to say sarva jeev che siddhasam? I almost read the answer, but that's okay.
At the soul level, we are all same,
Potential wise.
completely pure, nothing more, nothing less. We are complete by itself. The soul is complete, just like Siddha, the soul of Siddha. So Dravya Drashti says, Hum sabhi saman.
Sure. Somebody else was also trying to answer?
And I was trying to say every jeev has a potential to become a pure soul, just like Siddha.
Right. So, okay.
It's not only the potential, that's one way of saying, but we want to say that our substance part is always the same. It's always like Siddha. Don't just say that we have potential. That is correct. But that is emphasizing that, oh, we will have to someday achieve it. But we must recognize that we are that today.
Yes, Shantiji, you stated like that's the innate nature of the soul. It just needs to be manifested. It's covered with the material karma right now.
And that is what the sentence means. When your jeev goes to any of the 4 gatis, it is just the 3 different types of karma that are changing in each jeev at each gati level. But the jeev itself is the same in all of them, as well as the siddhas.
Right. And the most miraculous part is the jeev in a plant life, onion, potato, there are infinite such souls. Each one of them has the same exact abilities.
Yes.
We cannot see. So the knowledge portion that I emphasized in the beginning, that sthul to sukshma to ati sukshma, how can we ever think that a potato has infinite souls and they have the same potential as me? That is the realization we need, who I am. That is the emphasis today. Okay.
Okay, so we'll go to the next question. Can anyone achieve liberation by only following external anuvrat and mahavrat, such as ahimsa towards all other beings, and external tap, such as by doing upvas?
No.
Okay.
No.
Can we have different people answer now? Does everybody like do some little vow, some tap, ekashnu, upvas, atthai, attham, right? I want to do attham, and he's telling me, oh, that's not good enough. I can't reach moksha by doing that.
So what is the question, Prabhaji, right now?
Can anyone achieve liberation by only doing these things? External anuvrat, mahavrat, for example, ahimsa, external tap, upvas.
No. Check, Neil.
And
I think
why?
both is necessary. It's not like if I just do this, I will attain, but it doesn't mean that I don't do and start eating, going restaurants and just enjoying and wasting my time there, not going deeper in it. So it's both necessary for it.
Very good. It has to accompany with soul awareness, right? Even though without experiencing your soul, that doesn't mean until you experience, we quit doing all those things, but it will be more fruitful after we have experienced our soul. The soul awareness is very, very important. Okay. All right. What is the relationship between my
Prabha, Priyaji has answered, clarified. It should be preceded with samyak darshan.
Yes.
So self-realization is first, and then the vratas and tapas. Okay.
Right. Okay. So next question is, what is the relationship between my karmas, my pudgal human body, and me, a soul substance?
एक क्षत्र होगा ही संबंध.
Very good. Very good. So they all occupy the same space. Just like I'm in a room right now, the light bulbs are in the light, electricity, light, everything is in the same space, but we're still individually separate. Okay. Very good. Now the next question. If I am soul only, then what are all these human life, family, emotions, etc.?
No karmas.
Okay, no karmas. How would you explain?
No,
I
no.
think,
Emotions are not no karma.
right.
Emotions are bhav karma.
Sayogs?
Yes, that is one. What else? In reference to what he explained in his presentation today.
There is vibhav and bhav karma is vibhav.
It's
Vibhav.
vibhav, that is true. And he used the word, it's like acting, a drama, a temporary mode.
Swang.
Swang, swang.
Right? Swang. Right.
Swang.
We just passed through that stage. While playing this world drama, one must always be aware of own true soul identity. And this is very essential in the path of liberation. Okay, next question. Name the 4 bhavnas that describe how we should conduct ourselves while interacting with other mundane beings.
Mercy Bhavna,
कारुण्य भावना,
Pramod Bhavna,
माध्यस्थ,
Madhyastha Bhavna.
Very good. You got all 4 of them between 3 of you. Excellent. And those are very important to follow, especially during Paryushan. So what do we do if somebody says bad words to us? Which bhavna would be apply?
Madhyastha.
Very good. What if Rivan did such a good presentation and we're all praising? Which bhavna is that?
Appreciation. So Pramod Bhavna.
Guna Pramod. Yes.
Appreciation.
Very good. Let's see.
We should not say just Pramod. We should say
Right.
Gun
Pramod,
Pramod,
Guna Pramod,
because you are appreciating the virtue that they have manifest.
गुण प्रमोद.
Ah,
Okay.
very good.
Right. And let us say, I see somebody who doesn't know a thing. And let us say he thinks, oh, I already know. Once the lecture starts, I'm just going to sleep. What bhavna would you apply there?
Karuna Bhavna,
Karuna bhavna, compassion. Because we still mean well. Because maybe it's not something you look upon, down upon them. That's the compassion bhavna. Okay. All right. The next one. Why and how do we revere?
Without you is so tough.
Can
Can't
we
hear you, Prabhaji. There's
No,
some
somebody
other
is
noise.
It's
somebody
okay.
is unmuted.
If I can please mute, that's fine. Okay. The last question. Why and how do we revere supreme souls of Arihant and Siddh? So basically what we're asking is when you go to the temple, you see Bhagwan's Murti, or we imagine the Siddh Paramatma. So what are we really looking at? What are we thinking? What should we, what should we feel when we see that?
Rivan wants to answer.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead, Rivan.
I learned this in bachelor class, and when we want to go pray to Arihant and Siddha Bhagwan, we want to manifest those qualities that they have and praise their virtues and be like them, be on Siddha Shila with their pure qualities.
Very good. Anybody else wants to answer in different words?
Yeah, they are our ideals.
Very good. They're our ideals. Excellent. And what else? We just talked about Sarvajiv Che Siddhasam. So
Yeah.
what should we see when we see them?
Yeah, substance wise or in pure form, we are like
We are their reflections, right?
Correct.
We should see them as mirrors reflecting our own pure soul, nature.
That's right.
So now our going to the temple will be so much more meaningful, right? So very good. A lot of people have commented, and those who are watching on YouTube and all, Please send your remarks and also let us know if we can improve something in this whole process. Of course, we are also learning as we go along, but we are very happy that you all are actively participating. It makes it worthwhile for the speaker. And now I guess it's your turn to ask the speaker if you guys need to clarify anything.
Let me have
Shubhaji,
a,
Shubhaji,
Sandeep did a great job. That's what I want to say.
Thank you, I guess. सुरेंद्र साहब कुछ बोल रहे हैं?
I have a question for both of you. Who composed Nokar Mantra? Which Acharya composed and when?
Who do you want to answer?
We should let Priyaji answer because she will answer more thoroughly. I can answer. It is found in the Karnaniya books, but Gomatsar, and that's our oldest scripture. But it's does Priyaji have any answer? Otherwise, I'll attempt.
Jai Jinendra Shanti sir, wonderful presentation, plenty of hard work. Thank you for the presentation. And Rivan, you were very good, Rivan, very good. At such a small age, you think of high things that will really mold your life, and you will be a light unto yourself and lighten other lamps. Shanti sir, I just
you
have
have to
one
come
question.
every day now, okay?
Yeah, Shanti sir, I just have one question. When the soul is so divine and pure, and why are we after material things? What is the root cause that triggers the soul to wander outside?
The answer should have been also in the presentation. If somebody else wants to attempt, I let them do it. Otherwise, I'll answer. Why do we still wander if the soul substance is so pure? Does anybody want to try? Okay.
It is Anadikal se like that only. That's what I
Yeah,
have
but that
read.
is that is the substance. The manifestation is also a component of the complete Pramanka Dravya, and the manifestation is Mithya Gyan, Mithya Darshan, therefore Mithya Charitra. So it is not even knowing itself. It has its upyog, it's not putting in on itself. It's looking outside, Vairatma. It's looking outside and identifying that's me. Or is saying, oh, my happiness is going to come from this food, this house, this car, this wife. So he is an Vairatma, even though the soul substance is pure, but the manifestation, the Paryay, is not pure. It's extreme. That is the Vairatma. And the impurity varies a lot. The Nigod Jivas have tremendous amount of load of karma. Okay. So manifestation. So that is why this human life, at this point, we have so much abilities that if we don't use these abilities to know ourselves, and instead to spend all that abilities to know all other Gnay and associate with them as mine and me, then our charitra will be all with kashayas, passions, desires, unfulfillable demands. And all of them are source of unhappiness. Whether we call ourselves happy in the world, if somebody asks me, hey, Kemcho, how are you? Oh, I say, I'm fine. But do I state my real state? No. I'm only speaking some component. And the rest of them, oh, your sons are doing so well. They're so wealthy. They're so educated. They're so nice. That just is to boost my ego. What has that got to do with my happiness or unhappiness? Me, my existence. So everybody is in different state of Vairatma, their load of karma that gives them a wrong notion of who they are, knowledge-wise, as well as conviction-wise, belief-wise. And then accordingly, therefore, they are behaving with passions and desires, which are a full source of misery. And of course, with that comes their karma load, which gives them a life, sometimes that is favorable circumstances. And when they're in favorable circumstances, they lose sight of who they are. And they get engrossed totally into enjoying them or learning about other things. You know how much people spend their time in WhatsApp all day, reading this and that, partial truth. Everything, sometimes they have good messages, but they are all partial truths. So, and then we like it and we forward it. That's all. Whole day we are enjoying doing that. That's not going to help us. So anyway, you can, Priyaji,
Thank
please
you, Shanti.
expand on your
Agyanta,
end.
more rag, dvesh is what is
All
helping.
three, all three, yeah.
I would put it in a one perspective is Jeev is looking for a sukh or a happiness, and the Jeev does not know the sukhabhas and sukh, the difference between those two. And Jeev believes the sukh that I achieve from the outside worldly matters, that is a real sukh, does not have a clue for what the right sukh is, or the satya sukh is, or the satya behind the sukh is. And that's why it keeps rotating in an entire worldly matter from one subject matter to the other, and it keeps going in a wrong circle.
I also want to add that when we do the 12 bhavnas, a lot more expansion of the same thoughts will come. In the first day, you'll get impermanence of everything. And when I speak again on the 30th on Sansar Bhavna, that will be expanding on what is this misery, you know. And, you know, every day we will learn more about our real state and not real state. Okay.
To be happy is a main goal of the jiva, and the jiva wants to be happy all the time. And that's why the jiva is looking for a subject matter where it can get the permanent happiness. But not knowing where the permanent happiness is, it keeps rotating the subject matter.
I think the Jeev that is the Bahiratma Jeev is the one that's looking for happiness.
That is very true.
And it is because it is living in dukkha of the sansar. So it is the Bahiratma that's seeking sukh. And actual Atma is not seeking anything. Jeev doesn't want anything, or it just is, you know,
Right.
with its
The
all its
dravya
guna.
part, Hemalji, the dravya part, substance part of the soul. They all three are parts, components of the soul. They are not separate from one another.
No.
But they have to be understood separately because our focus is not on changing paryay.
Yes.
The impermanent, the changing paryay is not our focus. The non-changing, pure soul, substance is the only thing worth focusing on.
Yes. It is what
And
we
all
are.
others,
So that's why
all
we have
others
to
are for
focus on
knowing.
it.
All others
Yes.
are just for knowing.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, Priyadarshana ji, would you like to add anything else? Like I said, it all summarized to Agyanta, Moh, Rag, Dvesh, which causes the reason for materialistic life. If there's more you would like to contribute, please do so.
Yeah.
And if anybody else has any other questions, now is the time. We have only 5 more minutes left.
Can we say that we have an illusion for sukha and we are in the wrong direction? And once
called
we
delusion. That is called delusion. The word
Delusion,
moha,
yeah.
Prabha
Right.
just said moha. Agyan, moha, and kashai. Agyan
Right, yeah.
is the base. Moha means what you just said. We are in illusory world. Moha means you have a deluded vision of who you are, what gives happiness, and so on.
Yeah, because then we strive for money. Once we get the money, then say, oh, this is not happiness. Then we strive for something else, and then say, oh, no, this is not happiness. So eventually, we end up with no happiness, and we have everything, you know, materialistically.
No, whether you have or not have is not relevant. That depends on your past karmas, fruition of your past karmas. So don't even think that that is mine and I got it. If you want to focus on your soul substance, we don't want to think that these possessions are me or mine.
Right.
They happen to be my sanyog. They happen to be my circumstances. That
No,
is
what I'm
an
saying is
association.
we strive for it
Yeah,
just
sure.
to get the happiness, but
Very
that's not
true,
the
very
real
true.
happiness.
Very true.
Okay.
I have one question actually. That is a simple question based on our day-to-day life. Since childhood, we are told that not to waste water because it has jeev. Like don't leave dirty dishes at night because jeev ki utpanna hoti hai usme. Somebody had come to our house and at night she took her glass of water that she was using and she put it upside down because she didn't want even 2 drops of water in that glass left still. um, and so I follow all these things, but what I still don't understand, I question this, is because I don't clearly understand that water comes from your taps and you use it and it goes back into the rivers and the ocean, so it keeps flowing. So I don't understand, if we use it in the middle, how do one we get pop? So if
Okay.
somebody can explain, I would really appreciate that.
Can I take this question? We don't have much time, so I want to make sure we let Dhiman Bhai go in like 5-7 minutes, because that's my maximum time limit, 1.5 hours. So first of all, can you please say your name, the person who asked the question?
Deepali Parak.
Okay, so Dipali, here's the thing. What they do is, look, like during Paryushan or even otherwise, Jains try to follow non-violence to the maximum limit. But what really is true violence is our last lecture of these 18-day series. And you will learn a lot more in detail of what is true non-violence. Even though these little things we do, they do make our bhav pure, because inside our thought is that we do not want to be nimit in any slightest, tiniest of the jivas dying. Even though jivas die of their own death, of their own lifespan, their ayu finishes and they die. But when I'm careless in just wasting water, I'm careless in letting the water flow, my intentions are not pure because I'm showing the I don't care attitude. We are saying, I don't care if you die, or uska phal mujhe lagega. I will have to pay the price for it. I'm not actually saving the jivas because the jivas are going to die and take birth of their own karmas. And then what is true non-violence is yet another total different ball game. It's more of the bhav. And that is what sort of some of these little kriyas are trying to purify our bhav. In short, that is the answer. Of course, there's a lot more to it. And if you will stay with us till the 18th day, you'll get a very detailed answer on that.
Oh, I'm so much looking forward to that.
Say something. We cannot have a very elaborate discussion. I apologize. We have to maintain the time.
No problem. Thank you. I appreciate your clarification, but I'm looking forward to the 18 days.
Sure. Okay. Anybody has 2 more minutes? If anybody has a burning, there was 2 hands raised actually. Dhiman Bhai, can you help me with whose hands are raised?
Well, Rivan has hand up, and Surendra Sah also hand up. Himal has hand up.
So real quick, in 1 minute each, we will take your questions. Go ahead, Rivan.
Well, be very brief so that time is.
So here's one main question about the dravya and the karmas. Every single day of life, we are getting more karma than we're actually paying off, because in our life we're not perfect like Bhagwan. If we don't try to stop our karma, because we're always doing hinsa no matter what. So when we do meditate and when we do try to reap those karmas from the Atma, because it's a completely different thing, how can we actually stop the karma flow and actually become a Kevagnani?
Very good. Very nice. So somebody wants to, do we have time for answer or?
Very brief answer. Let me answer right now, Rivan, for you. Okay. The only time that will happen is that so let's say there's a leakage coming from your sink or somewhere. Okay. Now we want to stop. So what are we going to do? We're going to first stop that crack where it's coming from, right? So when you have Samyak Darshan, you have the correct Shraddha. So that sort of, partially stops that crack. So first you need to stop those karmas coming in. Now, as you stay in your soul more and more, That is an automatic process of letting all those karmas that were in the same kshetra as your soul, they start moving away from you. Now, so this will only happen when you are in your pure soul, when your focus is on your soul. So that's a very short answer. It can be elaborated more.
Very short answer is the biggest component of all these karmas is mithyatva, the moha, the delusion. So once you know who you are, then you act with more purity. Gradually, the karmas have no reason to keep coming. So you will learn more. When you learn the 7 or 9 tattvas, it will become more clear.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, Surendra Saab, aapka question bataiye.
I had a question, who composed Nauka Mantra?
Oh yeah, that we didn't answer. Okay. So Priyaji, did you want to answer that?
I don't see her anymore, so go ahead and answer.
Okay. So Surendra, I will dig into this a little more. I heard all the answers, but I don't have it in my memory right now.
That's
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's originally.
If you want to say it briefly, then
okay,
say
go
it.
ahead. हाँ, आपको पता है तो आप बताइए.
Do you want to say the answer?
Surendra
sir, did you want to answer, or you genuinely wanted to know?
I wanted to know, I don't have answer.
Okay, I will get it for you. I'll get it for
you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the original two.
Hemal and Tara Mehta still have raised hands. Give him a quick time.
Yeah, go ahead, Hemal.
30 seconds each. Yeah.
Okay, we are both one person, so.
Oh, Hemal is same. Okay.
Yeah, Tara is my daughter, so that's why.
Okay.
You know, on one of your slides, you had the slide where it said there is Kriya at the top, and then there is Parinam and Abhipray.
Parinam. Right.
Yeah, I don't know what Parinam is, and Abhipray I thought was intention.
Correct. So I did not dwell on those. They require a separate lecture, but a very short answer is Parinam is the Rag Dvesh, the Charitra, Monia Karm, its manifestation. So are you having Shuddha or Ashuddha? So is it in Pap form or Punya form? And Abhipray is your conviction, intention, darshan, Mithya darshan or Samyak darshan. So root is the Abhipray, and most people follow Kriya, don't want to know who they are. That is totally wrong direction. Everybody is easily doing Kriya and not trying to know why I'm doing it, who really I am. So my purpose of showing that was the focus should not be on Kriya. First focus should be on Abhipray. Who you are. Okay.
So make your intention samyak, so then your kriya is positive. And also the parinam part is important because otherwise it is all charitra monia karma.
Yes, yeah. And we can discuss some more later with time. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much.
Okay, as far as I know, Naukar Mantra Bhutbali, who started writing the first Shastras, is the one who started that. But we will still reconfirm in the next lecture. We'll give you the exact details.
Bhutbali and Pushpadan.
Pushpadan.
They have written in Shatkhandagam.
Shatkhandagam, and that is
right. I was looking for that
Mantra.
answer. Shatkhandagam. Okay.
Yeah.
Shatkhandagam.
And Bhutbali and Pushpadant are the two people who wrote those, and that is when Naukar Mantra started.
Right.
So, okay. All right. We'll just do our Janvani Stuti. सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है वंदना शत बार है जय जिनेंद्र सभी को
जय जिनेंद्र
Jai Jinendra, thank you very much, Shanti ji.
Jai Jinendra. Thank you.
Bye.
Jai Jinendra, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Pallavi ji, see.
Prabhaji, I'm sorry, I could not unmute before. Are you there still?
Yes, I'm still here. Yes,
Yeah.
Pallaviji, actually, Deman Bhai, can we focus on Pallaviji for a second?
Sorry, Prabhaji, I'm driving, so my video is still off.
Yeah, video is on. That's fine. We don't mind. It's winter time in Australia. We understand.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if he can focus on you,
there?
that would be good for a minute. Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear
So,
me?
Prabhaji, can you
Yes.
see me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
So, with the Namakar mantra, two ways to answer it. One is it was scripted by Acharya Pushpadant and Bhutbali. Okay.